Hey guys, thanks for checking in. Yeah, you're gonna see my face for this one, mostly because it's easier to explain it doing this. So you watched the footage right before this part, you saw some of the malfunctions it was happening. I'm gonna give you some background story to it, so it'll sound better in context at least. So the FMK 9C1G2, it's obviously, a Glock clone of sorts. But I'll give you some, basic stuff for it, what it's got and whatnot. So, FMK, California company, obviously a Glock clone. Standard 14 round magazine. Says it's 14. I'll touch up on that in a minute. Or they do 10 round variants for, those states that don't have any rights. Sorry if you live there, apologies. So I bought this on a whim. I had seen a couple positive reviews and some negative ones. So I kind of figured for around 200 bucks on Gunbroker, I would take the gamble and see how it turns out. So 200 bucks later, it only came with one magazine because it was Gunbroker. So 200 bucks later, first trip to the range, I was having at least 4 or 5 malfunctions through every magazine, if not more. The main problem was I would fire and it would go out of battery just like that much, to the point where I got really good at holding it, and I would fire and then immediately just pop the slide forward with my thumb just so I could keep firing. Because I did see that there was like a 500 round break-in period for him, so I was hoping after I did that a little bit it would get better. Well, know what happened after about 500 rounds? It did not get better. So, contacted the manufacturer, let him know. I gave him a pretty detailed statement saying what the issue was. They replied very quickly, mind you, like within an hour, saying, okay, we just sent you a recoil spring. And then they asked questions about like what ammo I was using, stuff like that, just to cover their bases. And then they sent me a copy of their break-in instructions for the gun, just, in case I hadn't already known it. Okay, cool. So, put the gun to the side, waited. Recoil spring came in a week. Pretty good. Put the recoil spring in it. They said give it like 100 rounds or 100, 200 rounds or so to break in the new recoil spring. Okay. Went to the range. The new recoil spring solved all of the out of battery issues. However, there was one issue that I had before as well that it did not fix. And that was all the failure to ejects that you saw in those couple little videos I saw. And the one video of it actually running a magazine, I'd only put 7 rounds in the magazine. So I'm suspicious if it might be a part of the issue. But yeah, about one every, I'll say a maximum of 3 shots I could generally get out of the gun before I had a failure to eject, and would try double feeding like that. On the cases themselves that failed to eject, there definitely was like a scratch mark or a scrape mark from the ejector trying to pull them out. So it was trying. So reached out to the company again. I was on Sunday when I went to the range, so I didn't hear back from them until the next day. They said, all right. They gave me all the information to send it to them so they could try to see what was going on with the magazines and everything. So that'll be the next step for this, and then I'm gonna send it off, and hopefully, when I do a part 2, it'll be more positive. It'll be a good thing. I'm not holding my breath though. I've never had this many issues with a gun before, and I own a few Tauruses. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So one other additional thing. 14 round magazine, right? Yeah. No. So, which does lead me to believe that this itself could be an issue that I was having, but I did borrow one. I say borrow, but I bought another one. And that one I was having the same issues with, but I can get 13 in here and the spring no longer will go down anymore. And then this does not want to chamber around with 13 in it, which is kind of funny. So, because like when I was shooting, I would have less malfunctions if I only loaded like 4 or 5 rounds in here, which is interesting to me, at least from the point of view of how exactly this is malfunctioning on the inside. So I wonder if there was better quality magazines, if it would still have those issues, but we'll see. So I'm going to send this guy off to the company, and we'll, you know, when it comes back, take it to the range, see if it's fixed. That being said, as far as customer service goes, FMK, keep it up, because I don't think I've ever gotten such quick responses, especially ones that were actually helpful, from a company of any sorts that as they did. Like my first time when I was having the out of battery issues, sent a message, boom, we sent you the recoil spring, and then they asked questions because they wanted to get it to me as soon as possible, which is really cool, especially since it's like it's a veteran-owned company. You can tell a lot because I don't know if you can tell, but it's this little thank you to our armed forces thing right here, and some of their other guns have a bunch of it, like say like God Bless America and a bunch of other really cool things. So them being a small veteran-owned company, I wanted this to succeed. I want this to succeed still. So I'm really hoping when I send this off, it'll come back to me and it'll function, which would be awesome. And if it's not, I'll still do a part 2, and you know, we'll go over it. I tried, and say we tried. So as of right now, my opinion on these, unless you have other guns to carry, and if you're just looking for a range toy or a good tool to practice malfunction clearing, go ahead. But as of right now, 0 out of 10 would recommend this thing. But that, you know, it's always a possibility that it can change. So thanks for checking in. I look forward to putting part 2 out there. Let me know whenever I get this back after I send it. Luckily, since I'm in Oregon, California's not a super long ways away, so at least shipping times won't be that bad. And on to new stuff. So I'm trying to think of what to do for my next video after while all this is getting sorted out. I do have some other guns I could review that technically would probably follow into the budget gun category. They're not handguns though, shotguns. So if you guys would be interested in that, I'll totally do it. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll take it out to the range, get some cool footage of some buckshot flying down, you know, fun stuff. So thanks for checking in. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. It helps me out. I don't, really get anything out of these other than knowing that some people might find, reviews like this helpful, especially if they're, on a small wallet kind of thing. So thanks for checking in, guys. Appreciate it.